Everyone, 7 through 7 here again. This time we're going to be bringing you another leader guide for Civilization 7, talking about Trung Trac. A master of blending war and science, Trung Trac excels at her ability to crush her foes and soar far ahead of the rest while doing so. By founding cities and conquering them in the tropical regions of your game's map, Trung Trac can get extra science for little extra effort. This is all the easier for her, considering that her commanders grow much quicker than any other leaders. She is strongly focused on war and able to maneuver with many different civilizations. Trung Trac is exactly what one looks for in an offensive playstyled leader. Trung Trac's leader ability is called Hai Ba Trung. Gain a unique commander, Trung Ni, after the first land military unit of the age is produced. Your commanders gain plus 20% experience, plus 10% science in cities on tropical tiles. This bonus is doubled during any formal wars you declare. Trung Trac's unique army commander, her sister, Trung Ni, is an interesting unique unit that can provide flexible bonuses to war making and defending one's land. Trung Ni's promotion line is a little underwhelming unless used defensively, which does not exactly make sense for Trung Trac's playstyle. Trung Ni does, however, unlock quite easily, spawning with the first land military unit of the age. This means that during the antiquity, Trung Trac could have her first commander, Trung Ni, in one turn if a warrior is built first. This does not stop the commander spawning in after discipline is researched on the civics tree, so Trung Trac can get two commanders, where other leaders would only realistically have one at this point. The extra experience towards commanders makes it so that her plentiful commanders can grow quickly in strength, adding to her overall snowball playstyle during consistent war making. The extra science in tropical is where her real flavor shines, rewarding her for claiming as much tropical as possible, as well as making formal war. Use war to fuel your science progress and gain technological edges against your enemies when playing as Trung Trac. Trung Trac is a competent military leader who gains important advantages that can easily turn into snowballs when the right amount of offensive pressure is applied. In this section, I will discuss the legacy paths best for Trung Trac to follow, broken up by the age. First up, Antiquity. Militaristic. Pax Imperatoria. Typically the center of Trung Trac's attention during the Antiquity, expanding your empire while playing as Trung Trac is rather straightforward. The unique first commander and extra commander experience, combined with enhanced science from her earliest cities, due to having a tropical spawn bias, makes this first military legacy path a breeze, and often the center of your attention when playing as Trung Trac. Scientific. Great Library. A very useful legacy path to consider, particularly when considering a science victory. Trung Trac's strengthened science yields makes gathering the required codices to achieve this legacy all the easier. Fully succeeding in Great Library can help in establishing a key scientific core for your empire when leading as Trung Trac. And don't be afraid to use war to fuel the scientific engines that your tropical cities will be. The next age is the Exploration. Militaristic. Non sufficit orbis. Critical in continuing her military development, this legacy path will again be likely at the center of your strategy when using Trung Trac. Not only will her conquests be easier from enhanced science yields, the rush to explore the seas and distant lands will be all the easier for Trung Trac since the extra science can be used to secure critical naval technologies before the competition. Scientific. Enlightenment. An important way to continue developing her scientific basis. This legacy path is always worth considering doing and essentially necessary for any science victories. The emphasis on growth and specialist placement does not really relate to Trung Trac directly, so be sure to pair with appropriate civs when completing Enlightenment is more important. This brings us to the last age, the Modern. Militaristic. Ideology. Likely what you have been working towards all game as Trung Trac. Use the developed scientific basis and command core developed from the previous ages to crush your ideological opposition. Just be sure to have some cultural output to rush and get an early ideology, since Trung Trac does not have any inherent cultural bonuses. Scientific. Space Race. The only way to ensure a science victory, this legacy path can be somewhat easier for Trung Trac than other leaders, from her notable buffs to science, but ideology arguably more directly fits her playstyle. Space Race is harder to rush than ideology, but because Trung Trac will likely have both developed science and production to fuel her war efforts, this path is not out of the question. To follow this up, I'll discuss the victory types best for Trung Trac, listed in order of relevance. Number 1. Military. Having highly advantageous commanders, mixed with a distinct scientific edge that only comes from being at war, Trung Trac excels at consistently aggressive play, by seeking out which enemies are most vulnerable, and then using your conquests against them to fuel your scientific ingenuity. It will be hard for anyone to match your military prowess, making the military victory the consistently most effective when playing as Trung Trac. Number 2. Science. A decent backup choice, but still somewhat less relevant than the military victory, Trung Trac does get notable bonuses to science that can make rushing those late game techs much easier. It is just that this will always be built on the back of war, which lends more towards the military victory. Consider a science victory when a war's progress is stagnant or in a stalemate. Number 3. Economic. The first victory Trung Trac receives no real relevant bonuses towards. The economic victory is listed third only because a wide playstyle typically rewards the player with access to many and varied resources. This victory is possible in a pinch for Trung Trac only when her better options are not available/viable. Number 4. Cultural. Trung Trac receives no bonuses at all towards a culture victory and tends to stay away from focused cultural civs. This victory is only worth it as a Hail Mary or some other desperate sort of play. Trung Trac's bonuses are best focused elsewhere. In this section, I'll discuss the good civs and civ paths suited for Trung Trac, broken up by the different ages. First age, Antiquity. Persia. One of the most obvious choices for Trung Trac in the Antiquity for more than one reason. Persia excels at constant war and has a strong unique commander to boot. Having a +3 combat bonus when attacking just calls for constant offense, something a militaristic leader loves. The immortal unique unit is extremely strong as well, healing from killing units, which further adds to Persia's desire to always be at war, something Trung Trac blends very well with. The standout feature, however, is the Hazarapatis unique commander, which starts with the initiative promotion for free. Starting with the first promotion in the assault tree makes offense all the easier, and the extra experience gained can lead to an early commendation, likely before the competition. Other leaders will struggle to be able to match Trung Trac's commanders if he plays as Persia in the Antiquity Age. Persia's unique civics and extra production towards Gate of All Nations are a nice cherry on top. The only somewhat conflicting point for Trung Trac with Persia is Persia's spawn bias towards desert, since she needs tropical to get the extra science. Be sure to settle specifically on tropical, or you will be forced to go and look for it in your conquests. Rome. The other Antiquity Age civ to receive a unique commander, Rome excels at having a very wide empire when supported by a strong cultural core. The legatus does not receive a free starting promotion like Persia's Hazarapatis, but it can found free settlements for every 3 levels it gets, which will come much quicker when they are wielded by Trung Trac. This can make Pax Imperatoria a good bit quicker to achieve, though it does somewhat reduce the need for Trung Trac to be at war, which is anti-synergistic. In many ways, Rome is dependent on having a strong cultural basis in order to fuel its conquests, so be sure to make use of its unique civics/traditions, form unique quarter, and the extra production towards Colosseum to make full use of this civ. This is best demonstrated by the fact that the Legion unique unit gains combat strength based on the number of traditions slotted in your government, so a lack of culture could weaken Rome's military position. Trung Trac does not lean towards or provide anything cultural, but Rome has a good unique commander and excels at widespread conquest, so there are times when it is worth considering pairing them with Trung Trac. Moria. Although Moria does not receive a unique commander, it has many other aspects that blend well with Trung Trac, enhancing her science output and making conquest easier in a lot of ways. The Parabitara is a great unique unit for conquest, providing extra strength against fortified districts so that even more fortified opponents can be cracked open. Moria's unique civics aid in conquest generally, providing combat strength bonuses or bonus towards maintaining a wide empire. The Mata unique quarter, as well as extra production towards Sanchi Stupa, provide strong happiness yields, which are critical when consistently being at war and controlling many settlements at once, reducing the penalties from war weariness as well as being over any settlement limits. The Dharmashala unique building provides direct science output, something in somewhat rare supply during the antiquity. Combined with the fact that Moria sets up Trung Trac with good Civ choices in future ages, I think Moria is a hidden gem pick for Trung Trac, even if it means not getting a unique commander in this age. This brings us to the second age, the Exploration. Mongols. A consistently strong Civ choice for Trung Trac in the Exploration age, Mongolia boasts many useful militaristic features that play directly into Trung Trac's abilities. The unique Noyon commander is more versatile than the base commander, having extra sight and movement, and it also rewards the usage of a cavalry-focused army. When paired with the rather strong Keshig unique unit, Trung Trac can continue to advance her military might via a strong unique commander that synergizes deeply with a powerful unique unit. Mongolia's Civ ability rewards constant war and conquest with free cavalry units, and getting non-sufficit orbis points from settlements conquered in the homelands makes it so that all war is good war during the Exploration age, which benefits Trung Trac's need to declare formal wars. Use those hostile relations from the previous age to make formal war, and conquer all who oppose you, home or far away. Mongolia's unique civics help ease the process of conquest, even granting one free Noyon. The Or2's gold income is a nice touch, and the movement bonus makes policing a wide empire even easier. Lastly, Mongolia is extremely easy to unlock, as having either 3 siege weapons or 3 improved horses can be done either at will or at ease. So regardless of your antiquity choice civ, Mongolia is often a safe option for the Exploration age. Spain. A good pocket pick, especially when having played as Rome in the previous age. Spain excels at constant war making that blends very well with Trung Trac's playstyle. Having extra gold towards converting towns into cities means that all your tropical settlements can become cities even quicker, which is exactly what Trung Trac needs to expand her scientific reach, particularly when considering the fact it can be somewhat difficult to have lots of cities when playing wide in the antiquity. The Conquistador unique civilian unit is an excellent asset for Trung Trac, since many of them give bonuses directly to commanders or simply aid in conquest generally. The Tercio is a solid unique unit since it gains bonuses against cavalry, the unit type that dominates this age, but it being a unique land unit has some limits. The Plaza unique quarter rewards the consistent conquest Trung Trac looks for with extra gold to supplement your empire any way you see fit. Use Spain as Trung Trac when looking to have as many cities as possible and to make good money off all the wars you will be making. Chola. An interesting niche pick for Trung Trac when you are looking to play more navally in the Exploration. Chola boasts a strong unique naval commander and naval unit that makes naval conquest much more rewarding. The Otru, reducing the combat strength of enemy units in its radius, is a solid ability that can make a noticeable difference in many situations. This pairs well with Trung Trac's enhanced commander experience gain, since you can get to the merit commendation quicker, enhancing the Otru's reach and impact. The Kalam gaining an extra attack is a very dominant ability, and will make commander levels come even quicker, accelerating conquests just the way Trung Trac likes. This, of course, all focuses around naval conquest, so be sure to have prominent coastal targets when using the Chola as Trung Trac. Chola's economic features are not age-defining for Trung Trac, but they can still make an important difference in war, providing key funds to fuel your war machine or intellectual output, so that production does not need to be overly strained. This brings us to the last and final age, the modern. Meiji Japan. The modern age master of blending science and war, Meiji Japan is a consistently excellent pick for Trung Trac. Overbuilding producing science adds to Trung Trac's scientific snowballing, further aiding her rush to key military technologies to gain an edge in war, particularly those around warfare in the air. Meiji Japan's two unique units, the Zero and the Mikasa, are both incredibly strong, giving edges in both air and naval warfare during this age. The Mikasa respawning after its first death is extremely versatile, making room for her production and gold to be spent elsewhere and punishing enemies for overly targeting them in battle. The Zero gaining extra strength against other air units is critical, ensuring you will have the airways under control. Paired with Trung Trac's enhanced science, unlocking and upgrading these units can be a very straightforward task. Meiji unique civics simply further enhance the blend between war and science, smoothing out the conquest during this age. The Zaibutsu unique quarter is not essential to Trung Trac in particular, but its economic and production bonuses make warmongering simpler via enhanced funds and resources. Prussia. A standout civ when it comes to unending war, Prussia awards players who have been making enemies all game. Having extra combat strength for every poor relationship pairs well with Trung Trac, since she will have been making war in the previous 3 ages, which almost certainly will have resulted in a plethora of hostile relationships. Use the extra combat strength against these forces and keep them unhappy with you. Prussia's unique units, the Hussar and the Stuka, work well at controlling the land, so Prussia can be a great pick when you aim to pick off land neighbors when playing as Trung Trac. Prussia civics are all great for war making, but the standout for Trung Trac is Roar and its mastery, gaining key science and production outputs to make said wars even more rewarding for her. Prussia's science reach is somewhat limited otherwise, which can work against a Trung Trac looking to keep science just as much in the picture as military. But when used militaristically, particularly as the end to a game-long militaristic plan, Prussia gets important and strong bonuses to dominate wars, especially on land. France. Imperial France is a rather versatile civ that makes plenty of space for warmongering in its kit. Being able to select the celebration bonus of any government means that Trung Trac will not be shoehorned into picking authoritarianism, making nice space to enhance other yields when military ones are locked down. France's unique unit, the Garde Impériale, gains extra combat strength when in a commander's command radius, which pairs well with Trung Trac, being that she calls for having constructed many commanders throughout the ages. Pair the Garde Impériale with the strong commanders built and upgraded during the game to get the most out of this strong unique unit. France's unique civics aid in conquest, providing a variety of nice touches. France's focus on happiness and culture don't have much to do with Trung Trac's overall focus, however, though they are good yields for the military victory, generally speaking. Here are a few theoretical civ paths I have come up with to demonstrate what a Trung Trac game might look like. Pacific War Strategist, Moria, Antiquity, Chola, Exploration, Meiji Japan, Modern. Latin Traditions, Rome, Antiquity, Spain, Exploration, France, Modern. Eternal Militarism, Persia, Antiquity, Mongols, Exploration, Prussia, Modern. This, of course, is not an exhaustive list, and there are many ways to maneuver one civ path, particularly when playing as Trung Trac. In this section, I will discuss the different wonders best suited for Trung Trac, broken up by the different ages. First age, Antiquity, Gate of all nations. Gaining 2 free war support on all wars throughout the rest of the game is incredible, especially when paired with Trung Trac's desire to always declare formal wars. Use this wonder to give yourself a strong way to maintain an important military edge all game. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Having slain cavalry respawn is a nice touch, and particularly so for a leader who takes to multiple cavalry-oriented civs. Cavalry is also key in later ages, so this wonder is often worth building as Trung Trac. Mundo Perdido. As a master of science and the tropics, Trung Trac can have a key science-focused city greatly enhanced via this wonder. When paired with a tropical settlement that has many rural tiles, you can see some major science output. Nalanda. A nice cherry on top wonder when going for a science legacy in this age. Nalanda can give a little boost in science output that can help Trung Trac stay focused. The scientific attribute point is pretty nice as well. Terracotta Army. Granting a free commander and additional commander experience gain, this wonder is a must-have for Trung Trac. The strong bonuses it grants towards commanders makes focusing this wonder a solid strategy when playing as Trung Trac. This brings us to the next age, the Exploration. This age's wonder choices are a little slim for Trung Trac. There are many good wonders when paired with specific civs, but detailing everything would make the focus on Trung Trac as the subject of this video obscured. Just note how each wonder applies to your civ when playing as Trung Trac in the Exploration. Boro Butter. This wonder gives a nice way to enhance growth for any leader who is seeking a science legacy in the Exploration age. Build strong quarters and then use Boro Butter to help pay for their specialist maintenance. Shwedagon Zedi Dao. Very useful, particularly if paired with Mundo Perdido. This wonder can grant extra science on a settlement who has grown strong and claimed many rural tiles. Use Shwedagon Zedi Dao to turn a well-developed city into a science powerhouse. This brings us to the last age, the Modern. Battersea Power Station. Extremely useful when naval conquest is a part of your military plan. Use this wonder when playing as Trung Trac to help your conquest of the seas. This is further enhanced by the fact that Trung Trac takes to modern age civs with strong naval units such as Meiji Japan. Brandenburg Gate. A great wonder for any warmonger. Brandenburg Gate makes a notable impact in mitigating the penalties for conquest by granting happiness just where warmongers need it. Use this wonder when playing as Trung Trac to keep your empire whole during wars. Oxford University. A useful science wonder, particularly when timed with intentional progress on the tech tree. This wonder can be useful for Trung Trac's desire to rush down the tech tree. Grab up high-value text quickly and use the wildcard attribute point as you see fit. Taj Mahal. Having extended celebration length can make a big difference for warmongers when paired with the authoritarianism government. Use either the combat bonus or enhanced military production for longer with this wonder, helping the conquests Trung Trac needs. Ubadiah Mosque. A nice way to enhance a settlement with many rural tiles, this wonder can pair well with any city who has grown very tall. This is enhanced even further when paired with certain rural tile-focused wonders from the previous ages. In this section, I'll discuss the different governments and social policies best suited for Trung Trac across the ages. I will not be discussing Civ unique policies in this section because that would become too expansive and detract from the focus on Trung Trac as the main subject of the video. Long story short, almost every time, getting your Civ unique policies will be useful. First Age, Antiquity, Governments, Despotism. The obvious choice for Trung Trac in this age, gaining either extra science or increased production towards infantry units, are great bonuses to pick from. Use either to enhance your science or military gain respectively, and sort towards whichever legacy you are trying to achieve. Social Policies. Conscription. -1 gold maintenance for units. A consistently useful social policy, use conscription to lessen the impact of fielding a very large military force. Drills. +30% production towards training infantry and ranged units. Another straightforward military policy, drills will help you keep an edge in any antiquity war. Literature. Plus 50% production towards constructing science buildings. Useful to help Trung Trac enhance her needed science yields. This policy alleviates some of the resources needed to produce science buildings, letting them be spent elsewhere, such as on units. Medicine. Units heal plus 5 HP. A very useful policy, especially when paired with certain commander promotions. Medicine makes it easier to consistently apply military pressure on opponents. Scholars. Plus 1 science from specialists. Another nice way to gain implicit gains to science yields. This policy rewards early specialist placement, which can also help to set up for the next age as well. Toolmaking. Plus 1 production and plus 1 science on the palace. The clear first choice policy for Trung Trac. Toolmaking embodies the needs of any empire when led by Trung Trac. Science and production to create an impressive offensive force. This brings us to the next age, exploration. Governments. Feudal monarchy. In many ways, the gameplay follow-up to despotism's playstyle. This government gives bonuses to either science or military at your discretion. Use the growth to get extra specialists faster, or the extra cavalry/naval production to outpace opponents in war, through the key units to this age. Social policies. Chivalry. Plus 40% production towards training cavalry units. A notable production increase towards the most important unit type of this age. This policy offers a strong way to maintain an important military edge for Trung Trac. Commissioned officers. Plus 30% commander experience. Plus 1 movement for fleets and armies. A must-have social policy for Trung Trac in this age. Commissioned officers can rapidly accelerate commander growth, as well as provide extra offensive maneuverability via increased movement speed of commanders. Constitution. Plus 25% food and plus 25% happiness towards maintaining specialists. Very useful when trying to get a science legacy in this age. This policy helps Trung Trac maintain her scientific aspects, whether they are the main focus or not. De facto. Plus 3 combat strength for all units in distant lands. Units heal plus 5 HP. An all-around strong social policy, de facto will make a big difference when going for the military legacy of this age. Combined with strong offensive pressure in distant lands, it can make all the difference in battles and wars. De jure. Plus 3 combat strength for all units in homelands. Useful for when wanting to conquer lands at home. This policy fits with Trung Trac's desire to make consistent war, particularly when she plays as Mongolia. Enlightenment. Plus 1 science on each science adjacency. Useful when going for a science legacy and when paired with Trung Trac's enhanced science yields. This policy can provide a nice edge when getting extra science is important in a particular game. Maritime law. Plus 30% production towards training naval units. A very nice bonus when naval/coastal conquest is key to your plans when playing as Trung Trac. This policy will make sustained naval pressure much more attainable in any war. Rationalism. Plus 15% gold and plus 15% science in your own cities that are converted to your own religion. Useful for whenever you are spreading your own religion, getting extra gold and science are exactly the kinds of yields Trung Trac looks for, especially when these cities are settled in tropical tiles. This brings us to the last age, the modern. Governments. Authoritarianism. The all-out military government of this age. This government provides pretty important bonuses to help secure a military victory. Use the enhanced production to build up your forces, and the extra combat strength to seal the deal. The only drawback of this government is that there is no science choice, but since Trung Trac can gain science from declaring formal wars, that may not inherently matter. Social policies. Draft. Plus 25% gold towards purchasing units, and minus 1 gold maintenance for units. The prime large army maintenance policy of this age, draft can help Trung Trac ease the gold burden of war both in income and in spending. Free speech, plus 50% food and plus 50% happiness towards maintaining specialists. The follow-up policy to the Exploration's Constitution, free speech continues to assist in having extra specialists, something useful when playing scientifically. Living standards, plus 25% gold and plus 25% happiness towards maintaining buildings. Since Trung Trac will want to have as many cities as possible in tropical tiles, it only naturally follows that she will house many buildings as well. Use this policy to get a return on all the construction you will inevitably have been up to when playing as Trung Trac. People's Army, plus 25% production towards training land units, but plus 1 gold maintenance for those units. Useful but not necessary, use this policy when you have plenty of gold and wish to get a strong edge in land warfare against your enemies. The extra gold maintenance is not horrible, but still needs a focus to be worth the cost. Projection of Force, plus 50% production towards naval units, but plus 1 gold maintenance towards those units. Essentially the C version of People's Army. Use this policy when a focused naval conquest is key to your military victory in this age, and you have the extra gold to support protracted wars. Social Science, plus 2 science from specialists, but plus 50% specialist food maintenance. A strong way to continue to push your scientific edge, this policy is often worth it for Trung Trac, especially when paired with free speech. Get extra science in developed tropical cities, which should have other ways to sustain the food needs of said citizens. In this next section, I will discuss different ideologies that are best suited for Trung Trac. Communism. The ideology most directly focuses on science and growth. Communism appeals to Trung Trac's desire to outpace all of her opponents. This ideology can be used to secure a science victory or maintain a strong scientific advantage that is key to winning important wars. Communism gets some policies that are useful for war making, though its main features are all about development, research, and production. Use communism with Trung Trac when science is one of, if not the most crucial aspect to your empire. Fascism. The all-out militaristic ideology from this age, fascism provides multiple strong policies that fit neatly into any warmonger's plans. This ideology gives policies that enhance unit strengths, as well as lessen the economic impact of a sustained wartime economy. Fascism is the best choice for Trung Trac when she wants to focus heavily on militarism, either because a scientific edge is not necessary to win, or she already has said edge from other sources. Use fascism with Trung Trac to secure decisive military victories. In this section, I will discuss certain mementos, ones that stand out as being particularly good for Trung Trac. There are many mementos in Civ VII, too many useful ones to discuss all of them here. I will talk to some standout ones for Trung Trac, but feel free to make use of other ones that provide important military bonuses as you see fit. Dong Son Drum. Declaring a formal war against another civilization grants a technology boost. A useful but not critical memento, this one is best served when you are sure you will often be declaring multiple formal wars per age, rather than simply relying on being in one or a few that chain into other wars. Equestrian Figurine, plus 50% reduction in commander recovery time. A nice way to ensure that strong commanders can stay in the fight for longer, this memento blends well with Trung Trac's desire to often be at war, guided by powerful commanders. Il Principe. Declaring a formal war decreases relationship with all untargeted civilizations by 25. A strategic memento when you know your Trung Trac game will be focused on all-out war with anyone possible. This memento makes it easier to declare formal war after formal war, using each one as diplomatic progress towards declaring the others. Kiam. Plus 1 science for every commander level. A great way to ensure that war and science will be even more intertwined with Trung Trac. This memento can result in some pretty notable increased science yields when paired with numerous strong commanders. Legion d'Honneur, Grand Eagle, and Cross. Units in a commander's command radius heal plus 10 HP after defeating an enemy unit. A great tool to help maintain consistent offensive pressure, this memento rewards Trung Trac's efforts to wield many commanders by ensuring her units stay healthy on offensives. Potemkin's Sword Knot, plus 1 movement for commanders. A seemingly simple bonus, this memento can actually make something of a difference in many different circumstances. Swifter commanders can often mean more decisive military results, as well as faster reinforcements / battle support. The Art of War, plus 10% commander experience gain, increasing to plus 50% when your commander is within the command radius of a higher level commander. A really nice way to add on even more commander experience gain to a leader who already gets strong bonuses towards it. This memento requires some setup, but is worth it when paired with Trung Trac's inherent bonuses. This brings us to the conclusion, where I will wrap up my thoughts on Trung Trac. Overall, Trung Trac is a potent military leader who gains important statistical bonuses towards growing prime aspects of her empire to make war all the easier and enhance science and commander experience gain. When paired with well-timed declarations of formal wars and the maintenance of multiple tropical cities, her scientific edge can be propelled even further, making her conquests all the simpler. Other leaders will struggle to match her offensive might when she sets up for success properly, due to the strong snowballing effects her bonuses lend towards. Trung Ni as a unique commander is a nice touch, being that Trung Trac is the only leader to get a unique commander, Trung Ni being the only army commander with a unique promotion tree, and that in the antiquity, Trung Ni ensures Trung Trac will have 2 commanders in the time it takes other leaders to have 1. I do want to say that when I first started making this video, Trung Trac's leader ability did not include Trung Ni, but instead had it so that her first commander received 3 free promotions. This aspect of her kit was very potent, allowing her to have received nearly a free commendation out of the gate, or actually get one when using a unique commander such as the Hazara Patis. I think that removing this feature in favor of Trung Ni is fundamentally a nerf that limits some of her potential overall, even if she is still a strong leader. I wonder if both aspects can exist at once, since that is what I was expecting to see with the patch that added Trung Ni. Rating: A tier. Even with a nerf, Trung Trac is an excellent military leader, using knowledge effectively to gain decisive wartime advantages when she controls the terrain she loves best. That brings us to the end of this guide concerning Trung Trac in Civilization VII. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe or interact. Regardless, I hope you all learned something that can enhance your strategy in Civilization VII. Have a great day.